Up next on The Bottom Line, the council continues its work fine-tuning the budget. A young Montgomery County student with a knack for fundraising, and a local nonprofit that's raising awareness for rescue dog adoption. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Susan Kennedy. Work sessions on the fiscal year 2017 budget are underway, and the Government Operations and Education Committees voted on their recommendations for compensation and benefits for all agencies. Their decision was unanimous, and this week the full council took a look at their recommendations.
Good morning. Good morning.
The county executive's recommended budget for fiscal year 17 is close to $5.3 billion. 57% of that is to pay the salaries of county employees. Careful consideration is being given to the requests of various organizations that represent most county employees. This week, the council asked the unions and the county executive to take another look at the previous agreements that were discussed.
We're really focused laser-like on how we can improve service to our community, how we can address the class size issues and the achievement gap issues out there, and just raising taxes to pay for more compensation is getting our residents nowhere in that regard.
It's very clear that we're going to have to raise revenues to be able to provide the capacity to not just the school system but all other departments to address a lot of these issues. And I'm referring to issues such as a rise in poverty, for example. I'm talking about the fact that every year we went over the projections for the students who were coming into MCPS. And I think that altogether has created an atmosphere where we have to recognize that we are a great county, that we have a great quality of life, but we also have some growing challenges.
The County Employees Union, MCGEO, and the Police Bargaining Unit had requested an 8% salary increase. Instead, the committee recommended 4%. For Fire and Rescue, the proposal from the committee was also 4%. Council members have also asked MCPS and Montgomery College to revisit their salary requests.
And I will say it is very unprecedented that so far the tone of conversations between the players has been thoughtful. I am very optimistic that in the next couple of weeks we will work our way through this in a way that where we're asking everyone to contribute to the solution of our future as a county.
Councilmember Mark Elrich says these measures signal to him that the county needs to take a close look at how it works through the budget process when it comes to paying its employees.
I think the bigger issue is, can we get everybody to the table and say, let's look at our budget, let's look at our long-term expenses. I'm going to be proposing that we do what they've done in Prince George's County. They've got a sustainability committee where you bring people in the community, the business community, labor community, all to the table and sit down and start mapping out a way forward that's sustainable. I'm not sure that the way forward right now is sustainable.
Final action on the budget will take place on May 26th. Well, if you are looking for a pet, chances are you've considered adoption as a way to bring a new dog into your home. Today, many people understand the importance of adoptions, and because of that, several rescue organizations are now in existence here in Montgomery County. One of those is Mutts Matter, and recently the group held a special event at a local brewery. Beer, dogs, and the people that love them was the scene at a recent event at Seven Locks Brewing in Rockville. Mutts Matter Rescue, a county-based nonprofit, organized the event to bring attention to dog rescuing in Montgomery County.
We officially started in November of 2009, and I started Mutts Matter. I didn't know that it was going to end up being a full-time volunteer job. It just grew so quickly, and now we're going to be, I think, almost 8 years coming up. I've always worked in dog rescue. I've been on the board of several rescues, and I knew what worked with other rescues and what didn't, and my philosophy of how I wanted it to be.
Last year, the County Council approved Bill 50-14 with the purpose of promoting animal rescue and placing further restrictions on puppy mills.
The County Council voted to prohibit pet stores in Montgomery County from selling animals that originate in puppy mills. And organizations like the one we're celebrating here today, Mutts Matter, and many other organizations perform such an important task by rescuing these dogs that are mistreated and placing them in loving homes. And that's what we want to encourage. So where a family wants to acquire a dog, which we encourage, families should get in touch with organizations like this one, like the Humane Society, or like Montgomery County's own animal shelter. There are many, many dogs available to be adopted by a loving family, and we don't want these dogs to be bred and mistreated, and that's what our law prevents.
Seven Lux Brewing is a new brewery in Rockville, and folks came out to learn about animal rescue and enjoy a brewski.
We like to work with local businesses. That's just we're a grassroots organization, and they were newer here, and breweries have always worked well. Today is just to have fun, bring your dog, and support rescue.
We've had an explosion of these local breweries. There's several of them that have just opened up in the last year or two here in Montgomery County. We're very proud of that. We want to support our drink local efforts. We want to support local breweries. And here's a great homegrown organization of people with big hearts that welcome these rescue animals into their homes. It's just a nice fit, and I'm really delighted to be here and to support this good cause.
It was a dog lover's dream, filled with passionate people who just want to help these little pups find a loving home.
I fostered many times, and this guy was actually a foster. And I thought, I've always had big dogs, big hound dogs. And I was like, someone said, oh, foster this little Chihuahua mix. And I was like, sure, no way I'll fall in love. Well, hello, this is my new dog, Mickey.
For more information on Mutts Matter, check out their website.
Each year, Bethesda Magazine chooses a group of the county's best and brightest young people for its Extraordinary Teen Awards. These 12 teens are chosen from more than 100 nominations, and each one of them is responsible for some amazing accomplishments. We caught up with one of the winners whose personal experience factors into what makes her tick.
Maybe, but we also want to think about if there's going to be a point counterpoint.
Maya Sterling knows a thing or two about the ruthless art of prioritizing. This Bethesda Chevy Chase senior made it her mission to see what she could do to get the school newspaper into the black. The Tatler is Montgomery County's longest-running school newspaper, and Maya Sterling is the business manager.
And every edition costs us between $800, $1,200 to print enough for all the students and staff in the building. So that comes to about $10,000, $11,000 a year. So that's a lot of fun, especially because we don't get tons of funding from the PTA, our Parent-Teacher Association, or from the Educational Foundation. We do get a very generous donation from them, but it's not enough, of course. It's not $12,000. So this is our November edition of the paper. This ad here was for Aristotle Circle, which is a tutoring company in the area.
Maya decided the school needed to go for broke in order to keep the paper running. She organized various events throughout the year, like bake sales and selling ads to local businesses and paper subscriptions to BCC parents.
Where did your papers end up, my friend?
The Whole Foods on River.
And her formula added up to success.
So we had all of these, $25 subscriptions, and we had our ads, and we had donations when we had big events. And together with that, we were able to start publishing longer and longer editions. The Tatler had steadily been about 16 pages, maybe 20. Now we're consistently 24, 28, or 32-page editions, and we're able to publish 4 and sometimes even 8 pages of color.
It just might be a story on immigration. And
English teacher and newspaper advisor David Lopalato was one of the BCC staff members who nominated Maya for the Outstanding Teen Award.
She never settles. She's always interested in the community first. I rarely ever see her worried about what's in it for her. She's motivated by making a better product, making a better community.
Did you deliver your paper? Remember you gave out papers to everyone?
This Bethesda Chevy Chase senior made it her mission to see that her school could up its game with the annual Pennies for Patient fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. When her school was raising $5,000 for the charity, she alone raised over $8,000. School administrators decided they needed to capitalize on Maya's talent and get her on board with them.
So that event really got me started in kind of big fundraising for LLS, big event organizing. So the end of the year came around, and the Student Government Association sponsor, Timothy Gilmore, reached out to me, and he said, we'd love you to be a part of the program through the school instead of kind of being outside the school. I was like, of course, I'd love to do that. It's not an insert, I think it's an ad. I have to confirm that, actually.
Maya took on the task of the Pennies for Patients fundraiser with the same tenacity she used with the Tatler.
We have a full-page ad from Mathnasium, a fourth-page ad from the Bethesda Court Hotel. We decided we wanted things like a staff-student basketball game. We wanted things like a class versus class Olympics. We wanted things like restaurant nights. We wanted the fundraising that people do in their homeroom classes to be a really big piece of our fundraising. So had our big long month of fundraising, and in February of 2015, the school raised $14,600, which is the most we've ever raised, ever. In the past, the highest we'd ever raised was like $7,000.
Hey, Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. I heard what you guys are doing for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I want you all to know how thankful I am.
So we were very excited after this. So in the late spring of my junior year, it was like, okay, Maya, we're going to do it again. And I was like, yes. I want more of the juniors to take on more of a leadership thing, because obviously I'm not going to be here next year.
Maya's modesty for the good work she is doing is refreshing. Only after our interview was about to end did we find out there was a personal reason behind her passion for this particular cause.
The organization is important to me for a different reason. Both of my grandfathers passed away from blood cancer, so it's important to me that there is a cure that can be found, and I know that the research that LLS does funds really important research projects that don't only benefit blood cancer victims and their families. The research actually can help research for all cancers, and that's what I think is really special about fundraising for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
But her talent doesn't end at fundraising. She is fluent in Spanish.
And then this is an article that I actually wrote in Spanish about my trip this summer to Ecuador. I lived for 6 weeks in Ecuador.
Was instrumental in creating a news magazine show for MCPS television.
I used to play soccer.
And 2 years ago, she led the way in creating an annual community festival at BCC, Barron Palooza. And what does she think about being named an extraordinary teen?
It's been really exciting to be in a magazine and people to like congratulate me, and sometimes complete strangers, and it's like, oh yeah, that was me. So it's been really fun.
I think she appreciates where she comes from and the benefits she's gotten, and she's not going to rest on those laurels. I mean, she's really, she wants to give back, but I mean, she wants to parlay some of that privilege into giving back, and that's extraordinary.
Our best to Maya as she begins the next phase in what I am sure will be a very successful life. The Agricultural Reserve is considered one of the jewels in the crown of Montgomery County. This week in our Montgomery Moment, we have some beautiful scenes of this county treasure from Poolesville. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.